Why are dragons so easy to tame and how to train your dragon? Or why do they act more like pets? We know this is a strange question, but you would think that with animals that are said to be really intelligent, that it wouldn't be so easy for these dragons to be subjected as mere pets or to be mere pets. They just play fetch, as opposed to some fearsome and proud nature of what dragons are usually displayed as having in the general fantasy media. For example, could you picture Draco or the almighty Smog playing fetch or running to his rider at the drop of a hat when he's called? Probably in Smog's mind, to do that to a dragon is the equivalent of doing that to another human being. So here are several possibilities we came up with as to why the dragons behave like this. The first possibility is that they put up with the humans for survival. The second is they just want to form a friendship with humans, and it's as innocent as that. The third is they were bred to be docile, and the fourth is maybe they're not as intelligent as we think they are. So let's start off with the first category, them putting up with the humans for survival. They're aggressive and powerful, the dragons anyway, so they could easily kill humans. But it's sometimes they act as though the humans have more power over them. Well, maybe it's because dragons are intelligent to realize that humans, on a whole, are more powerful. As time goes by, humans become more savvy in creating weapons that can take down dragons. They probably realize that these humans have more weapons, and so if they do attack humans, they will essentially incite a war. Many of the ancient dragons probably even seen wars with Vikings or other humans and saw the destruction that these humans can cause. Even if they would get away by killing a few, they probably knew that in the past, their ancestors that did that only incited the humans' anger and only incited the humans to evolve more in making more powerful and deadly weapons against these dragons. It's fair to assume that there are probably not as many dragons as there used to be. The only reason we see the dragons come out to attack Berk and other islands in the beginning of How to Train Your Dragon is because they're being forced. Before, dragons were probably more so in hiding because humans were taking over and hunting whatever dragons that were left. Remember, they came out of hiding to appease the Red Death or the hunger of this bigger dragon that was trying to kill them. They must have realized that after having bonded with the humans that it's better for survival for both species to depend on one another. The dragons have added the assistance of humans and a place to stay. It's even more than that. The dragons can stay anywhere, but if they already knew that humans on a whole were hunting them to extinction, or at least some of the species, maybe they're smart enough to realize that if they stay with other humans that do accept them, it may grant them protection from other humans that may want to kill them or hunt them. Even though we have a theory that not all night furies are extinct, that doesn't mean that a lot of them were not hunted. These dragons being biological weapons, it makes sense that men over time would either want to capture them or hunt them for sport because of the challenge. It's probably the same way or the same reason that ancestral wolves also bonded with humans. Let's face it, wolves probably did hunt early human beings, and they saw them as pests. So these humans would start to kill some of these wolves. And maybe wolves realize that these humans are really dangerous and they're in direct competition with us for food. So what if I try to make myself look less threatening so I can share my food with them, so they can share their food with me? And over time, the wolves got more comfortable and even joined the human pack. In doing so, the wolves hunted with the humans. They had the assisted help of the humans, and they also had the protection of the humans. Also, when the female wolves would give birth to pups, they had a place for them to stay while they could go out and hunt and know that their babies are safe because these dangerous creatures that are overpopulating their area are now essentially on their side. So it's like a mutualistic bond, which is why dogs are known as man's best friend, and why when you have a dog, you're seen as the alpha, or at least you're supposed to be, and them members of your family or pack. So the second possibility is that the dragons just wanted to form a friendship with human beings. The dragons probably find humans as fascinating as humans find them. It may give them a sense of duty to feel like they need to protect these weak beings that are also very intelligent, being that they're weak, but they can also make themselves powerful with the things they make and the bonds that they form. The dragons may also find the humans mentally and intellectually stimulating, and maybe are acting covertly to live among the humans and act as though they're not more intelligent than they are, so that they can learn about the humans and fellowship with them, because they really do admire the humans. The same way that we look at dragons in awe is probably the same way the dragons look at humans in awe as well. For all we know, the dragons may think that we're their pets, and they're just humoring us. The third possibility is that the dragons were bred to be more docile towards humans. Yes, of course, in the TV shows and even in the movie, some dragons will attack humans, but they don't attack humans with the ferocity that we see other dragons do in other media. And yes, this is a kid movie, but if we're going on the realistic side, these dragons in general are a lot easier to tame even when they're very aggressive. It could be that there's some unwritten moral code within dragons that started from an ancient ancestor that probably befriended a human, which caused that dragon to pass knowledge down the line that humans should not be harmed. The same way dolphins, even though we treat them like crap, are seen as intelligent, they would never hurt humans, or at least they very rarely do. Alternatively, it could be an actual human of old that people don't know about that specifically sought out some of the first dragons and bred them to be more docile and less aggressive to humans. And the last and fourth possibility is that they really are stupid, or at least not as intelligent as we think. I wouldn't call them stupid, but they're not as intelligent as we give them credit for. Maybe they're just animals that have the intelligence equivalent to that of a canine, and the reactions the dragons have as though they understand English is probably just how the characters perceive them. Just as we think of our dogs understanding us when they make those faces, and because our habit or we have a habit to anthropomorphize things and other non-human entities, the humans in How to Train Your Dragon probably just perceive the dragons to look this way as though they understand every nuance of their conversation, every English word. Dragons may also have those reactions because, let's face it, How to Train Your Dragon is geared towards younger audiences as well, and they don't just want to see the dragon sitting there. They want to see the dragon being emotive. Each dragon has to react differently to show forth its personality to make them more memorable and relatable to the people watching. So those are the likely reasons why dragons seem so easy to tame and so gentle and almost not dragon-like in some cases. So which do we think is the most likely out of all of these reasons? Well, we're going to answer that, but we want to hear from you guys first. We answered in giving you the most probable reasons, but which of these do you think is the most likely? Do you think that the dragons are very intelligent and they're just putting up with the humans for survival? Do you think that they just wanted to form a friendship with humans and they're still very intelligent, but they just actually like the company of humans and don't necessarily need them for survival? Do you think that some ancient group of people or person bred the original dragons from How to Train Your Dragon to be docile and gentle? Or do you just think that maybe they're not as intelligent and they're just literally creatures like dogs that we can tame and they don't really understand the English language or what humans are saying, or they don't really have an intellect above what we think they do? Let us know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. This has been Altiori. You ask, we answer.